Recap. When I, nearly adult boy, was born, my parents named me Giuseppe after my grandpa on my mom's side. My parents divorced, but my mom got sick and passed away a year later, so I had to go live full-time with my dad. 2 years ago, my dad started dating Kaylee until they got married. I'm not close with Kaylee, but that's not because we don't like each other. We just don't talk a lot, and I'm always staying with my grandma or uncle on my mom's side when I'm not at my dad's. They found out they're pregnant months ago and also learned it's a boy. Ever since, Kaylee keeps saying she also wants her son to be named Giuseppe because she likes the name so much and how it sounds. I straight up told her that's my name and would be weird having my half-bro having the exact same name as me. Kaylee said it wasn't weird at all and I don't own the name, so I can't say it's mine. She seemed really mad that I called it weird and said I should get used to it because that's the name they're deciding on. My dad is in the middle. He's willing to back me up and not let Kaylee name their baby that, but says I should just let it go. My uncle, Dad's brother, and some of my friends agree it's weird, but Kaylee is being super cold, so I don't know if I'm wrong here. Update on am I an idiot for not wanting my half-brother to have the same name as me? My little bro was born last week, and I'm still the only Giuseppe in the family, and my grandpa. I did like what some of you were saying to do, and had another talk with my dad to get him to understand. I'm glad everyone agreed it was super weird, and for bringing up that it could cause some identity issues in the future if we have the same name. Plus the fact that it felt like she was trying to replace me and take a name away that she didn't even know about until she met me. My dad actually heard me this time, and he said he was sorry for not fully thinking about how this would make me feel. He listened more when I brought up the identity thing and how it could cause problems for us in the future. So thanks for mentioning that. But after that, he still wouldn't talk to Kaylee about changing her mind. My uncle, his brother, and his other family actually started giving him crap after I told them. They told him that's weird, and my uncle even told Kaylee too, which made her super mad. So after, my dad was like, okay, he's not going to be named that after all. They had a lot of fights over it because Kaylee wouldn't let it go. But my dad said that there was no way the baby was also going to be named Giuseppe, and they were going to have a big problem if she tries to name him that. Not going to say he threatened to end things because I wasn't in the room when they had their fight, but it was pretty big the way he said it. So yeah, she gave up, but she was being super nasty to me for a while. It was awkward, but whatever. I was just glad she stopped with the name thing. The name they gave my bro isn't close to mine at all. Anyways, he's really cute. My dad said he looks just like me when I was born. Gonna be boring until I can play with him in a few months. LOL. Kaylee is still being different, but she doesn't say anything when I'm holding my brother. He cries a lot, but I love him a lot and happy he's not Giuseppe too. I find it weird that your dad didn't talk to Kaylee after you spoke with him. He only talked to Kaylee after his family tore into him. He's a spineless partner. It's also weird that he didn't laugh the first time she brought up the name Giuseppe and tell her that he didn't want both his sons to have the same name. I can't believe it got to the point that they told Giuseppe 1 that his brother would also be Giuseppe 2. I missed this the first time around and, oh my, your little brother dodged a bullet there. My grandfather gave his son with a new wife the same name as my dad, let's say Joe. Now at the royal age of 58, he's still Little Joe and will be Little Joe until my dad dies. Unsurprisingly, he's not close to my dad and resents him. I'm Alexa. My dad's name is Alex. 10 years ago, my stepmom was pregnant and she wanted to name my half-brother Alex too because she had some weird issues. I had no idea what they were naming him until after he was already named. Anyway, she and my dad divorced, and my dad told me that one of the major reasons they divorced was because my stepmom thought that after having this new baby, my dad would kick my brother and I to the curb, and she got upset when that didn't happen. All of this to tell you that you're probably not overreacting when you say you think your stepmom wants to replace you. People really are that weird and possessive. I'm happy your brother didn't end up with your name. Hey, 23 female here. I've had my cat Francois for 5 years, and I've been dating Margot, 25 female, for 2 years. She's always known I've had a cat. I never made it a secret that my cat is my most solid homie. She is allergic to cats. Not much of an issue up until now, because I live in a barn house. Francois basically has the entire top floor to himself. It's just a guest bedroom, my office, the laundry room, and a cat room up there. When Margot comes over, we hang out in the lower levels of the house, where my bedroom, the den, living room, kitchen, etc. are. It's where my dog hangs out too. As long as I vacuum and dust well before she comes over, she never has a reaction. Whenever we talked about moving in together, Margot always said she'd take allergy medication to deal with the cat dander. A few nights ago, she told me, and I agreed, that she thought we were ready to take that next step in our relationship. Since I own my house and she rents, she'd move into my place. She told me that she thought it would be best if I gave Francois to my parents. She said that the allergy medicine is fine for every once in a while, but overall it makes her sluggish and tired. My parents already have 3 cats. Francois gets along with them pretty well. When I go on trips, he stays over there and there isn't any aggression or anything. They live somewhat close, 45 minutes away, so I'd still get to see Francois somewhat regularly. But still, sending my little homie to live somewhere else is heartbreaking to me. Francois was there for me through some of the lowest points of my life. He would lie on the bathroom floor with me for hours with his paw on my foot, the only soul in the world who cared if I lived or died for such a long time. Margot thinks I'm putting Francois above our relationship. She thinks this is some sort of ultimatum, but it's not. I don't want to break up with Margot. I definitely see myself spending the rest of my life with her. And after Francois passes, I'm fine with not getting another cat. And I'm 100% willing to look into any other alternatives. So, if you have any, feel free to share, regardless of any cost. I just don't want to give away my best homie. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. I think you should both tell her that Francois, great name by the way, is more than an object to be passed around. That same way a child wouldn't want to be given to another family. I'm sure that if you maybe kept some rooms which Francois couldn't go in, you could have the best of both worlds. Hope it works out fine. You are all idiots here. Neither one of you should have ever entertained this relationship. Her because she knows you have a cat that she will have to medicate daily to even tolerate. Allergy meds don't work universally or indefinitely. And you because you have a young adult cat and are dating, considering moving in with, someone that is allergic to cats. No idiots here. I don't see you guys working out though. You want to keep your buddy. Totally understandable. She doesn't want to take meds every day. I doubt she's going to wait 5 to 10 years to move in with you though. Neither of you are wrong. I have a dinnerware set that I love, or loved when I had the original set. It was white with really pretty watercolor, delicate flowers. I'm very cottagecore and I'm a sucker for things like that. My husband has always hated it, as it was too girly for him. He recently owned up to having thrown the set away. He originally said he accidentally fell into the display cabinet and knocked some things off its place, so decided to get rid of the whole set, as it would look weird on its own. Yeah, I didn't buy that and he knew that, so he was honest and revealed he threw it out on purpose. I was mad, but it is what it is. He did apologize. Since we needed some new dinnerware sets anyway, I went online to look for some. I bought a generic looking set to keep the hubs happy, and then started looking for a prettier set. I was typing generic words into Google like flower dinnerware sets and actually came across an exceptionally similar set. I was ecstatic and purchased it immediately. However, when it arrived, hubby wasn't too happy at all. He asked why we needed another one and said that I'm absolutely not to display it in the cabinet and that I should have consulted him first. So I feel like a bit of an idiot now because clearly Hubs didn't like the set and I probably riled him up getting another one. Am I the idiot for buying another similar set when my husband disapproved of it? The original set he broke I've had for upwards of 10 years and was a gift from a relative who has since passed. That's why I bought the new one for myself, as it reminded me so much of the one he broke. I never forced hubby to eat off that dinnerware. It mostly just sat in the cabinet, and I would occasionally use it for myself. What? Not the idiot. Talk about toxic masculinity. My God, what does he think visitors will see the set and call him a girl or something? He had no right to throw it away. It's actually pretty cruel considering how much you loved it. He should have replaced the set. by which I mean buy you the same or similar one. You even bought a second set so he doesn't have to catch the gay from your new dinner set. Did he put any effort into searching for a new set with you? No, he made it your task, even though his behavior created the task in the first place. If it's so important for him, he should be looking for a solution, compromise. I'm sorry to put it so bluntly, but it sounds like the apology wasn't genuine at all. Absolutely, you are not the idiot. What? Is he afraid he'll become a woman if he uses something with flowers on it? Is he that insecure in his masculinity? I do feminine embroidery, and I have hoops of floral and girly designs, etc., all over the home. Would it be okay for my husband to throw them away because he doesn't like flowers? Side note, my husband supports my art and loves my designs hanging around our home. But the point here is that it's something that you like, that brings you joy. He intentionally destroyed something that makes you happy and lied about it, regardless of if it's dinnerware, art, an outfit, or a piece of trash. Your partner shouldn't be intentionally throwing your stuff away. This is way out of line. Where are you all getting partners like these? I honestly think some of you need to learn to love and respect yourselves rather than allowing the first person to whisk you away and embroil you in nonsense like this. It's okay to be single for a while until you know who you are, people. It's actually healthier and will give you a better lens to find the right partner for you. I was at a thrift store and found a funky doll in the toy section, and immediately my mind went to my daughter because she's in her doll stage, so I thought she'd love it. It's like a burlap fabric with these shells, like you see on necklaces, and stitches for eyes and yarn for hair. I was right, she loved it, and she's attached to it now. She named it Bob, and he wears dresses, LOL. Last week my sister-in-law and brother came over. I typically get along just fine with sister-in-law. We're different people for sure, she's from Cuba. But I've always liked her, and we usually go thrift shopping together. I mentioned that I'd gone a while back to look for puzzles and found a doll for Lola. I told Lola to show Auntie Bob, and sister-in-law pulled her hand away and looked shocked. Lola tried to hand her the doll, but she wouldn't take it, which I thought was rude. Like a toddler hands you a toy, you take it. I told Lola to go play with her brother and asked sister-in-law why she was acting weird. Lola just wanted to share Bob with her. Sister-in-law asked me why I got Lola a voodoo doll. I was like, what? First of all, this is the real world, not TV. She said I need to get rid of it. I was like, no? Why would I take away the doll my daughter loves? To me, that's crazy. Then she was like, give it to me for a few days and I'll fix it and bring it back. I said there was nothing to fix. The whole rest of the day, she kept looking at Bob out of the corner of her eye, and she refused to sit near it or near Lola when she had Bob, which was ticking me off because Lola didn't do anything to deserve being ignored by her auntie. It was like there was a big cloud over the whole house that left with sister-in-law. My brother texted me later and said that it's really bothering sister-in-law and asked me if I could just please humor her and let us borrow the doll. I said no, and maybe this is where I was the idiot, but I said, maybe you need to get your wife's head checked if she really believes in this stuff. He wrote back that it was part of her culture and that he doesn't believe in it either, but that if it's important to her, it's important to him. I wrote back, you're both nuts, LMAO. I'm more angry that sister-in-law ignored Lola and treated her bad just because of a doll. And don't feel like I'm being unreasonable at all. I don't want to humor my sister-in-law. I asked my husband and he told me I should just give them the doll and let it be over. But like if I give in to this little fantasy world, then what's next? You are the idiot because of your statement. Voodoo is very much a part of people's cultures and religions. This doesn't mean that they need to get their head checked any more than someone going to a church or believing in karma. So you don't believe it, which is fine. But you insulted and mocked your brother and his wife, which is not fine. You don't have to let your sister-in-law take the doll, but you shouldn't make fun of her for her beliefs. You are such an idiot. No idiots here. There's nothing really wrong with your sister-in-law having strong, culturally influenced feelings about dolls that have a certain look. And I'd say it's even fine for her to have asked about it. But once you declined, the subject should be closed. She can't force her beliefs on your daughter or your family. If she was that uncomfortable around the doll, she should have just left. Having said that, you need to stop casually insulting people's mental health. especially over cultural differences. My friend had a whirlwind romance and got engaged within 2 months. She met him on vacation in a different country. I never met him or know anything about their relationship, as she was very vague and distant about it all and seemed to purposefully not tell me much. And then they broke up almost immediately after the engagement. I was as supportive as I could be. I met her, sent flowers, and consoled her. But as the whole relationship was very short, I barely knew anything about him. I felt quite detached from what happened. The summer that followed was my wedding, and I had a few key trips out of town for wedding planning, like my dress, wedding fairs, cake tastings, registry, etc. And my bachelorette party, my family organized a wine tasting day, a party at mine a couple of days before wedding, and a weekend away with friends to a lodge. This is all the norm with my friends and family, and we do this for everyone and all help with each other's weddings. All events and trips were everyone's choice to take part in. Half of those were paid for by me and my family. My friend chose to come to all the events, but made it abundantly clear that she was not okay with any of it and not happy for me with how she acted. She would keep telling me that she doesn't like any of it, making a point not to help and acting like everything was a personal slight to her. The weekend away at the lodge was planned long ago as a general trip for our friends group, but as it happened to end up so close to my wedding, they decided to make it a pre-wedding trip and did wedding decor, games, etc., and started calling a pre-wedding weekend away themselves. My friend one day told me randomly that it's not your wedding trip. She would purposefully not come to any wedding planning trips to help with anything, which is fine. I had others to help, but she would go out of her way to make it clear she's doing nothing that day, but isn't coming to make a point and isn't happy for me at all. If I shared photos of any updates excitedly in my friends group, she would make cutting remarks, criticizing the cake and the invites. I would try to keep things friendly and just ignore or go along with whatever she was saying or wanting to do, not do, as I didn't want the stress. She would act normal between these moments, so it was almost like I was being gaslit when she would act like everything's fine in between. At one point, though, she actually sabotaged an event. She said she would book the venue and DJ for the bachelorette, and then didn't do it, and was open about not doing it because she didn't like the venue. It almost ruined the event and needed a lot of last-minute calls and stress to sort out and salvage. My other friends were fuming, as they said they would have easily have done it themselves, but she volunteered. Basically, as my wedding followed her engagement and breakup, it seemed like she saw my wedding as insensitive to her heartbreak. I also had a comment from someone that my wedding was hurtful to her. You are not the idiot, and drop the friend. I get she may be heartbroken, but that's no excuse for her behavior. And to purposefully sabotage your bachelorette party, I'm honestly not sure how you haven't cut contact with her yet. The wedding already happened. She's part of a group of friends, so she was just naturally part of it all. I didn't even realize what she was doing until it got quite close to the wedding and things started adding up, and the bachelorette sabotage happened, and then my wedding arrived, so I didn't have time to think or deal with it, and would have probably just caused me unnecessary stress and drama, even if I had dealt with it at that time. After like the first 10 efforts of sabotage, you should have dropped this girl. Life does not stop because she made a rash decision to get engaged after 5 minutes. It's not like you rubbed this in her face. You were getting married. Lose the friend. She not only was irrational, she tried to actively ruin things for you. You are not wrong here.